going to start up, and I'm going to start up in a way you never expected. That is, they've named the royal baby Charlotte Elizabeth Diana. Now, the funny thing is, there was a thing I saw on TV that you could actually go into England and bet on what the name was going to be. And those were the top three. So maybe to screw with people, they named her all three of them. I don't know. I have no idea. All right. The two lectures from this morning, the two C# lectures, are already out there on the system, and I'm right now uploading the one that I just did. All right, so that one, it does this until it's all finished. So that's why I only want to go till about 11:30, so I have time to take this one and upload that and get that up there too. All right. So I've got here on step 8, it says, with John's help, I will now discuss Eclipse Perspectives. If you want more on Eclipse Perspectives, or on Logcat, or on the debugger, I've given you some links. Now, it's a good news, bad news situation is that most of those links are not real new. All right, they're anywhere from 3 to 4 years old because they're the better articles that I found. All right, so a few things may have changed, whether it's aesthetically or whatever, but they should all basically be correct. All right, and if we do change to Android Studio for the fall, they've got a lot of documentation out there for it. It's not like this is, oh my God, we're going to go to a new editor. It looks very similar to Eclipse. It really does. All right. All right. So when we get here, if I go over and I go to Window and I go to Open Perspective, you'll see that there are a bunch of different perspectives that we have here. The DDMS, I don't remember what that one is. There's a debug perspective. There's a few other ones, and you can create your own perspective. So let's just talk about why you might want to do that. Most of the stuff that you see on the screen here, you can shift it around and put it virtually anywhere you want it to be. And for instance, I'm not going to remove it, but if I didn't want the Package Explorer anymore, I could click the X. That would then go away. And almost always when that happens, when if you come back and you find under Window or whatever, there's a view, there's a way to get it back. All right. But when you look down on the bottom here, in here, now mine says DDMS. Okay. But what you're going to find in here is when I run a program, what's going to be put in there basically is any kind of output that I've done with the system.out.println or any errors that the program has figured out. What's not in there right now is if we set up a perspective that has Logcat in it. What Logcat is it's a catalog logging everything that's happened while you've been running the program. All right? And it's a good news, bad news type of thing. It's good in that if you have any problem, typically if your screen, you just get screen after screen after screen and it's red, that's usually bad news. And usually when things are going well, it'll almost always be green. But if you're running your program and for some reason something goes funky and it keeps happening and happening, you might want to turn Logcat on to find out exactly when that would be happening. All right? And I wish I was better at it. And if you say, well, why didn't you show us that? Because I'm not very good at it. There is actually a built-in debugger that's built into Eclipse also. All right, to the point where most of the time when I get an error, I can tell what the error is based on, I can go right into Eclipse and find out where the error is. All right. Now, so again, and John, here's where you can help me out. So I go to Window, and I can go to Customize Perspective, and if I do that, and you don't have to do this, but I just want you to have seen it. And you'll notice there's a bunch of different things in here. Not only that, there's 4 different windows. So there's a shortcut window, command groups availability window, menu visibility, and tools visibility. And if you go all the way over to the shortcuts, what you'll notice is you can run most of the stuff we've been running under Visual Studio, you can run under here. And Visual Studio claims that you can actually run Android programs and compile them under Visual Studio also. I haven't tried to. All right. I think it's a good thing for you to learn multiple editors and IDEs. You may disagree with that. But I don't think with most of you, unless Brad says, I'm going to be a Java programmer, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, and otherwise I'm not even going to get a flaming job. I don't think most people think like that. You think like, well, I want to get a job, hopefully make enough money to get by on, and I guess I'd rather do web stuff, but if I have to program, or I'd rather program, but if I have to do web stuff. So I think it's advantageous for you to be exposed to multiple editors and IDEs. All right? Now, the toolbar visibility. Now, menu visibility. Okay. So menu visibility, window. Show view. I think that close. Well, I guess I did open it. Is that where I'm supposed to be? Okay, so there's Logcat. See it? There, not the deprecated one. There. See that? So again, let's do it one more time. So we come back here and we go to Window, Open Perspective. No, I'm sorry, Custom Perspective, Customized Perspective. All right, Menu Visibility, Window. All right, and we've got that open. We go down. One of the things that's in here, what was it under? Show View, is Logcat. And if I click that and I click OK, now there's going to be stuff that when I go and run the program that you'll see down here. You have to save it. There you go. See it? Now, the other thing, too, and there's some of it is in that book that I told you about, the book that, this book here, but you can go online and find a ton of it. You can customize Logcat. 90% of these things that are in here, they're not errors. They're just showing you information. So you can set Logcat up to just show you, just log certain errors, for example. So nothing would be showing unless you had an error condition. So there's a bunch of stuff you can do with this. And again, that was just a little bit. So you can go out here. Notice that's from eclipse.org for the perspectives. That's from Developer Android, all right, for the debugger, etc. And this was an article I found from IBM.com. All right. This was actually a chapter out of a book that was on Eclipse. So that's all I'm going to say. But there's ample information out there if you're interested. All right. With most Android apps that you run, you want them set up so that it shows the soft keyboard. What that means is, what you see right here, that's actually a keyboard that'll come up on the screen when you're running the program. All right? You can still use the hard keyboard, but the idea is, I don't have a hard keyboard on here. All right? So usually you want to set it up so if you're writing an app, that it runs through the soft keyboard. All right, we'll talk about that again as we get into that point. All right, now it says, and I'm going to leave this up here so you can see it, okay? All right, and again, you'll get this handout next class. I just wanted to make sure that it wasn't fraught with too many errors. It says, note we've got 10 widgets on here. They don't call them controls in this language, they call them widgets. And if you count, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That makes sense to everyone? All right. And out of those widgets that are in here, the ones that you see right here, and I wasn't pretty. I could have justified these. I could have put colons on there, etc. I didn't. So there's a lot of different ways we could pretty this program up. But these 4 things that you see right here, I think everybody would agree. Bill amount, percent, tip, and total. Those will never change. Those are just static text. They will just not change from the time the program starts running. All right? When we create those, we'll use what are called Textview Widgets to create them. Okay, and you're going to see those in just a minute. Now, you may or may not know, but these, not this one here, not the one that says 3460, but these right here, these. The one that says 15%, the one that now says $5.19, the one that now says $39.79, these three, those are also text views. All right? They will be able to change as the program's running. But you know this as well as I do. You can change the text that's in a label when the program's running, if you want to. You can choose to leave it, or you can change it. Those are buttons, I guess that goes without saying. And this is what's called an edit text area. It's like a text box. All right? So just so you keep those in mind. Those are the 10 widgets that we have in there. All right? And these are the names. Now, this is where I screwed up. So if you'd all look up on the screen here. All right? So that's called bill amount label, and that's fine. That's called percent label, and that's fine. That's called tip label, and that's fine. That's called total label, and that's fine. Those are all okay. This one is called total text view. That's okay. Tip text view. That's okay. Percent text view. That's okay. This one is called percent up button, and that's percent down button. Those are okay. That's the one I screwed up. What I should have called the one that's got the 3460 in it, what I should have called it was bill amount edit text, because it's an edit text control. I accidentally called mine bill amount text view. The program still runs just fine. But I'm telling you, just so you know, I should have called it bill amount edit text. I'm going to suggest you just call it everything that I called it. All right, that'll just make it as simple for you, hopefully, as possible. All right, so again, that's where the explanation is of all those controls. Now, I want to mention this to you because you may or may not realize it, but this, let me squish this down a little bit. This looks a little bit different than the window that you've been working with all semester. I think everybody'd agree with that. The one you've had all semester, you've had this, and then basically everything else that's over here has been a window for you to key information in. So there's new stuff, so to speak. All right? So as we look at it, I'm just going to bounce back and forth between these. This is our old reliable here. That's called the Project Explorer right there. Nothing new right there. All right? This is called your palette. It's from right here, the stuff that you see all here, it says palette at the top, and it goes all the way down to where you see it says graphic layout. That's where your controls are. Okay? The area that's in here that you see that's gray, right there, and it's got the white area in here, that's your work area. Okay? This is called your outline view right here. And this is called your properties window. Now, in many ways, the outline view and the properties window, in many ways, they're the same as what you're used to in Visual Studio. But the properties window, when you start working with it, it'll make your head hurt. Because it's not nearly as intuitive as the properties window is inside of Visual Studio. Once you get used to it, you've worked with it for a while, it's not bad, but it's different. All right? So again, Project Explorer, Tools Palette, Work Area, Outline Area, or Outline View, Properties Window, and down there is where you have either your log cat or your debug area or whatever is going to be down there. All right? All right, so we're going to start doing this. And rather than showing it to you like this, I'm going to walk you through it. And if we only get through part of it today, that's great, honestly. I'm not in any hurry to see how fast we can get through this. So even if we just do a couple things from here, it's fine. All right, so I'm going to jump back into here, and I'd like you all to be right here, if you would, please. Now, I want to show you something, and you're going to want to do this in just a couple minutes. If I ran this program right now, as I mentioned to you, it would look just like this. It would be bigger, but it would say Hello World. And right now, the only tool we have on here, we've got a relative layout, and we've got a text view on here, and that text view says Hello World. All right? So what I'd like you to do is to come up into your outline area that you see right here, And just as I've done, take your mouse and click where it says Textview. Just take your mouse and click on it. And then hit the delete key. And it's gone. But it's not really gone. Okay? If you went to run the program now, you'd get an error message. So you know that. If I come over here, and if you please look up on the screen, right now, if yours looks like mine, yours says, down here it's got graphical layout, and it's got activity main.xml. But if I click the one that says activity main XML, if I click the other one, looks like it did get rid of it. Normally, I don't see it in there, do you? Usually it keeps where it says hello world, it keeps that line in here. So even though you remove it from your graphical layout, it usually still shows in your XML. If you have it in there, you can remove it from there too. Okay? All right. I'm jumping back into the graphical layout. So now if I ran it, I would get nothing. Okay? All right. The question got asked before. I'm going to kind of butcher it probably, but the question that Eric asked before break was, well, how does it basically figure out where you put stuff on the screen here? And the answer is it's based on the type of layout that you have. All right? Right now you've got the default layout, which is a relative layout. So I'd like you to take your mouse, put it on where it says relative layout, right mouse click, and go down to change layout. And I will tell you this, this is because there are people in this room, and there's a lot of people who are not in this room, that for whatever reason, you're not real adept at this stuff. When we go through stuff next semester, and I say build this, build this, build this, I'm not waiting. It's not a threat, but I'm just telling you, I'm not waiting. Because it's more important next semester that you have a lot of lab time. All right? To my knowledge, John will be back. So if you're having a problem with something, it's your responsibility to raise your hand right away. I mean, if something literally, hey, my machine's broken, that's not your fault, then of course we'll stop. But you're like, I can't line this thing up, then worry about it later. All right? So, again, I clicked on here where it says relative layout, it turned blue, then I right mouse clicked on it and chose change layout. It'll take a second, but what will come up is a drop-down list of different layouts. And I don't remember if I put it in here or not, but, well, we're going to change it. But there's tons of stuff online about different kinds of layouts, and I think one of those things that I put in there for you, I think, has got stuff in there about layouts in it too. All right. So am I right in assuming we're all here? All right. So you'll notice that if you click the down arrow, it's got a lot of different layouts. But above these dotted lines that you see right here are the ones you're going to use the most often. You're not ever really going to have to worry about the stuff that's in here. Okay? And what we're going to choose, because I tried to keep this as simple as possible, we're going to choose table layout. So you can choose that one. Do not choose table row because that will be wrong. So choose table layout. All right? So choose that. It should change in here. We don't have to preview it. Just click OK. Sometimes when you change things like we just did, just so you know, sometimes the system will come back and it will give you a message and it will say, should I change all references to this in the program? And it'll say yes or no. We don't want yes, we want hell yes, because that'll change everything for us. So you always want to make sure that if it asks you that, you choose yes. All right? And ideally then, it changed over here to table layout 1. It was relative layout before. Okay? All right, so that's its type. We don't have to do this. If we want to change its name, let's just say you can do this with me if you want, but you don't have to. Let's just say right now what you wanted to do was you wanted to call this table layout tip calculator or tip calculator table layout, whatever. All right? So let's say we want to call this tip calculator table layout. All right? Then we can right mouse click on it again, but this time we want to choose edit ID. And this is a little weird thing about this, just so you know. I'm going to take this off for a second. And you look at it, and you say, table layout 1. That's what it says there. But technically, the name of this is @ID / table layout 1. That technically, all of that is the name. All right? We're going to change it here. We don't have to add the @ sign and stuff. It will put in for us. But you want to make sure that on your controls, it always has that @ ID / at the beginning. Because again, when it does the reconciling between the XML and the actual controls, it needs that. All right? So if I wanted to call this tip calculator table layout, well, most of it's there. I don't have to retype. I can get rid of the 1 that's on the end, go back to the end, and change that to tip, oops, not like that, to tip calculator table layout. Okay? Notice again, it's got an update references. That should always be checked. That says if this has been referenced in code anyplace as table layout 1, automatically change that reference, automatically change it to tip calculator table layout. And you should not have blank spaces in here. So I'm clicking OK. And now that's done. Okay? All right, we're going to keep it simple for right now, because otherwise I'm going to try to show you too much stuff too fast. Okay? So what I want to show you is this. If you look up here, if everybody looks up on the screen, we're not going to do it yet, but later we're going to add text views. So there's different ways you can do it. I can take the text view and literally click on it and drag it out here. I don't remember if double clicking works or not, and I don't really care right now. Or I can take it and I can drag it over to here. There's a bunch of different ways this can be done. All right? Same with buttons and everything else. But what we want to do is we want to click this little tab here that says layouts on it. We want to click that one. So your screen should look like this. All right? And what we want to do is we want to add five table rows. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold out on my left mouse button, drag, and put it right there, and let go. And then I'm going to do it again, and let go. And then I'm going to do it again, and let go. And then I'm going to do it again, and finally I'm going to do it one last time. Yep, it didn't like my last one. For some reason, there it is. Yes. Remember, we're computer people, and what do computer people start counting with? That'd be 0. So I'm going to change the name of this from table row 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 to table row 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Yes. Yeah, you're right. You're right. That would have been the easy way. That would have been the easy way. Come on. All right. So there's a lot of different ways this can be done. I'm going to right mouse click on it. I'm going to choose Edit ID. I'm going to change that from a 1 to a 0. Click OK. That one's changed, and I'm just going to do the rest. I'm going to edit the ID on all of them. As John said, if I'd have just put in the first one and renamed it 0, then it would have renamed the other ones 1, 2, 3, etc. You have to make sure you're putting it right on here. Right on there. Right on where it says tip calculator table layout. Oops. All right. So eventually we're going to fill this stuff up so it ends up looking similar to what I showed you before. All right. So what we will do next time for the first hour is we'll build the interface. If it takes both hours, then I'll just talk you through the code. But we will build the interface because I want you to see some of the intricacies that are involved in building the interface. All right? I will give you a hard copy of what I've been working off of. You'll have that for the next class. Okay? That's all I wanted to go through today. Like I said, I just wanted to go until 11:30, so I've got time to save this and produce this and stick it out there on the system. So that's it for today.